I'll take it. Welcome to UUCP. I'm Mary Beth, I always want to say host, but that's not right, service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. If this is your first time with us, thank you so much for giving us a shot. We really appreciate it. We're so happy you're here. If you're a returning member or a member, thanks for coming back. We love you. So let's turn to your neighbor and just give them a nice big, howdy greeting. Howdy. Okay, while we're greeting, I'm going to invite Catherine, our speaker, to come up, and we're going to have some opening words, and we will light the chalice, and then we're going to have some centering music after that. So. Okay.
I have made my home inside a place of rest that is welcoming and abundant, full of compassion and curiosity, a spark of life, connected and courageous, creativity and laughter and dance. I looked inside my home, inside my life, and outside too, and I say, it is good.
Thanks. Yes, so now we're going to have a little centering music. I don't know about y'all, but it was kind of a busy week for me, so I need a minute to just breathe, and we're going to have our musicians play us a little something to help us kind of take it all in.
And Ray is on their way, so this is Tom who's playing saxophone, just so you guys don't get confused.
Oh, yes. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Okay, if you will stand with us, if you're willing and able, we will recite our covenant and then have our opening hymn. Our covenant will be just here. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is all. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. We're going to have Mike come up and lead us in a song called I Will Be Gentle with Myself, and the lyrics will be up here. It's just kind of a call and response or repeat, so very simple.
Cool. So the lyrics that are up there are going to be the ish ones that I'm singing. In the kirtan, the bhakti tradition of devotional yoga, kirtan is a back and forth of singing and responding, calling and responding. So when you're listening, that's half of the prayer, and then the singing is the kind of other polarity of the prayer. So feel free to look at those words, but also feel free to engage in the not looking at them as a practice. And not to mention that I might get some of the words different than Oh, and then at the end, I want us to do a back and forth thing where we'll say, and I will hold myself like an infant baby, a newborn baby child. And we'll have, so this half will sing it, will hold myself like a newborn, and I will hold, so we'll kind of go, like make a little weaving together of singing it at different times at the end. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. I'm gonna be gentle with myself. Gonna be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn. And I hold myself like a newborn. A newborn baby child, everybody. A newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. I'm gonna be tender with my heart. Gonna be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn. I will hold my heart like a newborn. A newborn baby child. Everybody. A newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast. Only go as fast as the slowest part of me. Feels safe to go. Feels safe to go. I will be easy with myself. I will be easy with myself. Gonna be easy with myself. Gonna be easy with myself. And I will love myself like a newborn. Love myself like a newborn baby child. Like a newborn baby child. I will love myself like a newborn baby child. I will love myself like a newborn. 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 Like a newborn baby child.
You may be seated. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we'll sing the children out. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. time, we'll have our offertory. If you're not familiar or not aware, that we are solely member funded. So whatever you can give, time, talent, treasure, it's greatly appreciated. But we'll have our ushers come and pass around a basket while we sing a little something for y'all, some special music. That song was picked out by our speaker today. She picked out all of our songs today. A woman of many talents, Catherine. She's a licensed mental health counselor, self-trust coach, reformed people pleaser, and I feel that one, and neurodivergent Evangelical. She helps people who feel and care deeply to reconnect to their inner wisdom, heal from the pressures and traumas that have experienced, reclaimed their playfulness, and liberate through collective care. Outside of work, Catherine is an avid podcast listener, a book lover, paddleboard enthusiast, and little kid chaser. Please help me welcome Catherine Quiring.
Good morning. I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. For those who have gone through religious deconstruction or are in the middle of it now, or want to understand how to support friends who have, this talk is especially for you. One of the most subtle and insidious parts of evangelicalism and all forms of high control religion is the way we are purposefully deprived of self-trust. For me and so many others, reclaiming our internal compass is an essential part of healing. Self-trust includes befriending your desires, trusting your perceptions, developing inner harmony and integration, living out of your inner knowing. The 5 steps I have identified to reclaim your internal compass are: reflect on the messages you received and religious environment around you. Release any messages or beliefs that no longer serve you. Reconnect to your inner wisdom. Reclaim lost and hurting parts of you that got locked away to survive, and the evangelical aligned parts that need to be transformed. Then you can reemerge whole, grounded, and trusting yourself. Let's go through each of these more in depth, shall we? The first step is reflect. The purpose of this step is to move through confusion and cognitive dissonance and find clarity. Once we have enough understanding and perspective, we can validate our experiences rather than question ourselves. I like to start with the macro level, then we'll move to the specific messages we heard and how they impacted us. I'm going to compare authoritarian religious culture on a macro level to self-trust, needs-honoring culture. So we're moving from a culture of domination to a culture of reciprocity and collaboration. We are moving from authoritarian control and hierarchy to a space to listen to yourself and others and really understand. We're moving from respect and honor for a centralized figure, be that God, the Bible, the pastor, whoever is in leadership, to respect and dignity for all. We are moving from humans on top, or human supremacy, to humans are part of an ecosystem, which is often called animism. We are moving from an unhealthy attachment to God to a healthy attachment to self and reclaiming other lost healthy attachments. We're moving from perfection and obedience to humanness and a growth mindset. We're moving from judgment to radical self and other acceptance, curiosity, and compassion. Once we have that macro level perspective, we can reflect on individual messages that were often psychologically and emotionally damaging. These messages do not just reside in our minds, but become part of our identity, inform our self-worth, and keep our bodies in a survival state. I don't have time to go through all of the messages I've identified, but I'm going to highlight a few today. Some of the messages that specifically undermined self-trust and that hit me the hardest were, there is nothing good in me. Reference, for example, Romans 7:18 and 19, for I know that nothing good lives in me, that is my flesh, my human nature, my sinful capacity, for the willingness to do good is present in me, but the doing of good is not. The interpretation is I'm bad at my core. There's nothing good in me that comes from me. An impact that has on us is there is no ability to have self-worth within this framework and this ideology. There's no ability to have yourself as a resource or an ally. The second message is I'm a sinner. Some of the specific messages around managing our sinful nature that I heard were take every thought captive, harness your tongue, basically manage and control yourself. Some interpretations that we take from that, when we hear that all the time, is my sinful nature separates me from God. If I sin, it means I did something wrong. God can't be near sin, so I better fix it so God can be around me again. It's basically anxious attachment, if you want to know. I have to watch myself and manage myself to be good, and at any moment I could sin, and that might separate me from God. I have to make sure I'm all right with God all the time, so I won't go to hell or experience separation from God. Some of the impacts. We were taught how to control and manage ourselves the gospel of sin management, some like to call it, instead of trusting ourselves, standing up for ourselves, and being understanding and compassionate with ourselves. It leads to anxiety, dissociation, scrupulosity, which is a moral form of OCD, and other mental health issues. It leads to suppression of unacceptable thoughts, emotions, and desires. It leads to masking to be the perfect Christian, if you will, so it looks like our sin is managed. Another belief or message is that I will deceive myself. We were told our nature is to be led astray. I can't even count how many hymns and songs reinforce this, such as Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, which is a very common one, that says, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Take my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Some of the interpretations of that are, all blessings are outside of me. God is benevolent and loving, and I am worth nothing and helpless. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. I can't trust myself with my heart. I have to hand it over to God for safekeeping. I have to literally be chained like a slave to know I won't run away. I can't trust my heart to lead me to God or lead me in the right direction. It will always choose the wrong path. I have to give my heart away for it to not cause me harm. Another message is, I can't trust my emotions or intuition. Some of the messages I heard around this were a train analogy, where thoughts and logic drive the train, and feelings or desires are the caboose. They're just along for the ride and not to be trusted. It also is a facet of dualism, where head and the logic is good, if it reinforces what is the community says is literal interpretation of the Bible, and the body equals temptation. Common verse that we heard, and maybe many of you all memorized like me, is trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Some interpretations of that are, don't trust the way you experience and see things, trust God instead. Unquestioning obedience, sacrifice, and surrender is what God asks for. Some of the impacts. You experience systemic narcissism, shutting down your own emotional cues and trusting only the external ones, and what you're taught is safe and okay and approved. This gets extra confusing when you can't tell what's God's voice or calling. It leads to a lot of internal anxiety and rationalization. You have to turn off or turn down or stuff down your internal signals that tell you when something is safe or unsafe. And that's part of what our body cues are for, is to tell us when things are safe or unsafe. You lose access to your internal compass. Your only compass is the external authority figures, so God, the Bible, pastor, parents. The last one for now. If there is an internal conflict, I must be wrong. Some of the messages around this are, if I feel anxious or ashamed, it is a sign of sinfulness. If I want something different from what is being taught, I'm being rebellious. Interpretation. If I disagree with something, I must be wrong. If I feel something other than gratitude, happiness, victory, and worship, I must be doing something wrong. Some of the impact of this, hiding desires, a fear that God might take them away at any moment if he sees them, because a life of denial and sacrifice is what God says is best. And any desire could be labeled idolatry and taken away to teach you a lesson, dependence on God. Shame, confusion, fog, dissociation, suppression of unacceptable thoughts, emotions, and desires. And actually, I'm going to mention one more, that you're not even supposed to have a self within this conception. Some of the message are I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. Galatians 2:20, he must become greater, I must become less. John 3:30, let the Holy Spirit fill you. There are so many messages of, Lord, empty, purify, fill me, pour me out. We are a vessel for him to use. That is all we are good for and all we are intended for. Some of the interpretations are, I'm supposed to be a shell of a person, an emptied body that God can fill. I'm at best a container, but not an embodied person with value. I'm supposed to empty myself of myself. Some of the impacts are internal anguish from exiling valuable parts of us and freeze and appease trauma reactions. All right, I can take a deep breath. Done with that part. Now we move on to release, right? And I want you to notice how all of that felt. And now we can release it, right? You can feel how heavy and how difficult it is. And we have clarity about the attempt to sabotage our self-trust. We are free to rage and release any beliefs, practices, and ways of relating that have harmed us. Some things you might want to consider releasing are beliefs that you had about God or the divine. Are there any conceptions of God or the divine that you want to release? The divine as a benevolent or harsh master, capricious, vengeful, a God who would send people to eternal torment, even for small mistakes, a God who, according to the Bible, picks favorite children and favorite people, exclusivist, narcissistic, male, authoritarian, hierarchical, like God the King, punishing, or an ominous figure with lots of guidelines. Or there might be others that you've identified. Now you can think about what you were taught about others and how you need to interact with them that you might want to release, such as they're lost, I have to save them, it's my responsibility to tell them the gospel, or it's on me that they're going to hell. Be in the world, but not of it. Those outside the church are not safe. I have to befriend them to save them, but not be influenced by them. And an us-them mentality. How about beliefs about yourself you would like to release? I'm bad, I'm sinful, I can't trust myself, Jesus is the only way to heaven, I have to trust God or the church over myself, I have to be perfect. Are there ways you've been treating your body that you would like to release? Ignoring, minimizing, or dismissing, fear of certain emotions coming up, that body cues are something to be judged, policed, shamed, and stuffed? Are there any things your body has been holding for you that it would like to release? Maybe tension, anxiety, depression, a sense of dread, hypervigilance, freeze and appease responses, hollowing yourself out, inflammation or other illnesses? Are there any feelings or ways of relating to your feelings that you would like to release? Self-hatred, self-questioning, feeling small, trying to cut off parts of yourself, stuffing down unacceptable feelings, judging or being afraid of your feelings, trying to control your feelings? Were there any rigid roles or identities you formed to survive that you would like to release? Maybe being the good girl or the good boy, the perfect Christian example, obedient, submissive, always kind and generous, always friendly, respectable and polite, pure. Are there any habits or coping strategies that you formed that you would like to soften or release? Scrupulosity, questioning yourself, deferring to authority, shaming yourself, judging yourself, being harsh with yourself, stuffing down feelings, explaining and proving yourself, begging God to change you or help you, or thanking God for everything. Okay, take another deep breath. I'm done with that. You are not what you were given. You are not what you were told to be. You do not have to hold on to or continue to react to these toxic ways of being and believing anymore. You have permission to let them go. You can give all of yourself permission to let go of these burdens, heal, and be free. This process of releasing burdens is a pattern you can repeat. If you experience a triggering religious thought, feeling, body sensation, or habit, you can give yourself space to be curious about it. This is basically mindful self-compassion, if you've heard of that, with Dr. Kristen Neff. If you can't access curiosity and compassion, you can get support from someone who can, or talk to yourself like you're talking to a friend. You can befriend then the part of you holding this experience. You can give it permission to release the burden it's holding without having to shove that part away, and find new freedom and purpose with that part in the way it's designed to be in your system and in your inner world. I personally find doing this with a trained IFS therapist or using IFS meditations can be helpful. That was a big part of my healing and my working through this. IFS stands for Internal Family Systems. It's a therapy modality. As we're going through this process of releasing, we get to then reconnect. There's more capacity to reconnect to our core self as we start noticing and bringing in compassion and releasing burdens. The curiosity, compassion, and courage that we found inside is a big part of what we're reconnecting to. And it's amazing to notice that we find them inside, right? Reconnecting with ourselves means reconnecting to our life force, our deepest longings, the essential yes within us. As we release the burdens we've been carrying, we can also reconnect with the wounded parts of us and help them heal. We can reconnect with our desires, our critical thinking, our feelings, our bodies. We can connect with others without viewing them as projects. We can connect with the earth and its healing rhythms. I love this quote by Kabir. Be strong then and enter into your own body. There you have a solid place for your feet. Don't go off somewhere else. Stand firm in that which you are. And as we do that, and we have this sense of grounding and goodness and reconnection in ourselves, we get to start the process of reclaiming. We can reclaim what we lost, what we never received but desperately need. We can befriend and welcome all parts of us. Instead of the fear of leading ourselves astray, we get to learn self-trust and build internal collaboration. We no longer have to stuff, ignore, swallow, disconnect, dissociate, rage, recoil, or police any part of us. Some of the things we can reclaim are awe and wonder, autonomy, our voice, our body, our sexuality, our intuition, our playfulness, and rest. Even parts of us that were aligned with these high control religious systems to help us survive can be reclaimed and transformed. They do not have to be shoved away either. Inner critics can transform into inner motivators. Inner controllers or policing or hypervigilance can transform into inner security guards and watchdogs or other forms of helpful protection. Inner shaming can transform into acceptance and support. I'm going to go a little bit into autonomy. We don't have time to go into all of them, but as a part of autonomy, we get to claim our self-trust, our inner compass, our ability to be a separate and connected person. There isn't the pressure to be codependent or do the emotional work for others. There's no more wondering if you're doing the right thing. You have the autonomy and the right to decide for yourself. You can be an individual and separate from others and still be connected if and how much you choose. Once we've done all of this integral work that is a weaving and flowing in and out process, it is not a linear process, we get to reemerge. This whole process of reflecting, releasing, reconnecting, and reclaiming can feel like a time of cocooning. being still, caring for yourself, supporting yourself, and allowing yourself the space and rest you need to heal. At some point, you will find yourself feeling more whole, grounded, and having more trust in yourself. You'll have more energy and excitement to explore. The opening and closing poems are ones I wrote as I emerged into exploration and expansion after doing so much of this work. It is an amazing place to be, and I welcome you to join me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to invite Claire and Ray to come back up, and we were hoping that you would sing that song with us as a congregation, if you can, if you're willing and able to stand, and we'll sing that Standing Stone song. It's simple, it's sweet, and it really packs a punch, so I urge you to, join hands with your neighbor, hug, whatever you feel comfortable doing, and we'll just sing it a few times through, okay? The words are just up here.
I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you.
One more time.
I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you.
Thank you. Just have some closing words and then we'll be dismissed. By Catherine, our speaker. I planted some words inside today. I planted some words inside today. They nourished me deep in the earth of my soul. When they sprout, I will be glad. Right now, I am glad for the seeds. The seeds are my words coming back to me, full of gratitude and recognition. Thank you so much. Go in peace.